And so, as always, we begin by noticing our breath, noticing the sensation of the air moving in and out of the nostrils. There's nothing to change, just noticing how your breath is responding to this day. So the invitation is to take the legs long. We'll do that through frog legs. So with the right leg, we allow the knee to fall open. We come to the outer edge of the right foot and we slowly slide the heel down till the leg is long. And then we switch sides, feeling the pelvis roll as we open the knee to the left side and slide the heel out, coming into Shavasana. And as we rest here, notice the first point that draws your attention. And breathe. And now the focus of your attention will move to another point in your body. And just notice, observe how that point is resting. And then the third point, find a third point and feel that place as it rests. And now we're going to bring our legs up through frog legs. So if you're not on mute, I'm going to invite you to mute because that will stop the echo. There you go. Yeah, thank you. So let's bring the attention to the right leg. We're frog legging up. So the knee opens and we slide the heel up till the point at which the foot can come to standing. And we're going to switch to the left side. You'll notice there's a little rock in the pelvis as we slide the heel up and bring the foot to standing. So if you're new to this class, the invitation is always to use frog legs to slide out and to slide back up. It's so much easier on the pelvis to do this. So now we're coming to rest in constructive rest posture. We have our hands on the floor and the palms are aiming to be downward. Of course, it may simply be that the pinky finger is resting on the floor. The whole palm may not be on the floor, but we're aiming for that. So we're going to draw one leg up and then the other. And then slowly, actually not slowly, just release the feet to the floor. They're going to slap the floor. And then we're going to do that one more time, bringing the feet up above the hip joints and then releasing the feet to the floor. This is about where your constructive rest posture will be. Just that simple to get to this. And now we're going to do some pelvic tilts. So if you're not familiar with pelvic tilts, we roll down toward the tailbone and you'll see space underneath the waist. And then we roll up, the waist will flatten and the tailbone tips up, but we stay on the floor. We're rolling down toward the tailbone And then we roll up to flatten the waist. Just do this a few more times and then begin to notice how the head follows this action. So it's not simply about moving the pelvis. We'll notice that the chin naturally wants to come to the chest at one point toward the heart, and then it'll tip away. We're slowly doing this. We're warming up our spine and our low back here. And now this time when we roll down, notice what's happening with the feet. There's a pull. So it's almost like the feet are tractioning toward our glutes. And then when we tip away, flattening the waist, it's as if the feet are pushing. So we've got a push, pull going on as we rock in our pelvic tilt cycle. And then we pause. Today we're going to be doing the pelvic clock. So I want you to imagine a really big clock on the ceiling. There's noon is going to be above our head. 3 o'clock is going to be to our right. 6 o'clock is going to be toward our feet. And 9 o'clock is going to be to the left. So imagine this clock coming closer and closer to the body. It's going to begin to become smaller, and it's going to come and settle right on our pelvis. The 12 o'clock is going to be up toward the belly button. The 6 o'clock is that action toward the tailbone. So now we're going to rock to 12 and we're going to rock to 6. So we're doing a pelvic tilt here, flattening the waist as we go to 12. The waist comes up a little bit off of the floor as we go to 6. Pause when you come to 6. Slide your hand under the waist and see if there's a little bit of space there. And then when we come up to 12, tuck your hand under your waist and see if you can even make that happen. So we're warming up the pelvis with our pelvic tilts. And now we're going to go to 3. So that is going to be to the right. So we rock a little bit to the right, seeing if we can find a 3 o'clock on the clock. That is our pelvis. And now we're going to move back to center, and we're going to take it to the left to 9 o'clock. So your brain might be a little bit confused here because it would seem that going to the left would be 3 o'clock. But remember, the clock came down from the ceiling to rest on our pelvis. Going to 3 o'clock again to the right. And notice how when we roll to the right, then the knees follow. We don't lead with the knees. We come back to center. We're leading with our pelvis. And then the knees are going to follow. And then we come back to center. So just like when we did the 12 to 6, our head got involved. Now we're going to notice how our head gets involved as we go to 3. There's a little tilt to the right. And then we come back to center, and there's a little tilt to the left. And then we come back to center. We began our practice by stretching our legs out long. So we go through frog legs. This time, let's start with the left leg. We let the left knee fall open. We're on the outer edge of the left foot as we slide that left heel down till our legs are long. Then the right leg opens, the knee, and we slide down. We began our practice noticing 3 points of contact. So find the first thing that brought your attention, see if anything shifted. Then we go to the second point, and then we go to the third. We're going to come back to constructive rest posture. So we're going to slide that left leg up. So we slide the heel up until the foot naturally comes to standing and the knee follows the foot. We're sliding the heel up. The foot is going to come to stand on the mat and the knee comes up too. Breathe in. And on the out breath, flatten the waist and draw both legs into the heart, up to the tummy, or just in, and gently circle in one direction. And now the other direction. And now we come to neutral and we let our feet land on the floor. We're coming back to our pelvic clock. Finding our noon or our 12 o'clock. Our waist is flat. We're going to take ourselves from 12 to 1 and back to 12. 12 to 2. So there's an arc here. And then back to 12. And then we're going to go from 12 to 3. And then we come back. So there's a little bit of an arc happening as we do this. Let's travel to the other side. And now we're going to go from noon to 11. Come back to center to noon. So if we flatten at noon and we begin the roll there, we'll find our way to 10. And you'll notice maybe the right side gets a little bit light. Come back to center. And then we roll all the way to 9 o'clock. And then creating a little arc, we come back to noon. Pause here and gently frog leg your feet out. Legs go long. Pause here and notice. And if going into long legs is aggravating in any way, you can always stay in constructive rest. Listen to your body. One leg at a time, we're going to frog leg back up, bringing the feet to standing. Let's find our 12. So that's the flattening of the waist. And let's find our 6. So the waist lifts. So as we go through this, we'll do a few of those, noticing the push-pull of the feet and noticing how the head moves. And today we're just noticing our breath. We're not coupling any action with breath. We're just noticing the breath moving in and out of our body. Pause in the center. Travel to 9 o'clock, that's to the left. Back to center. And to 3 o'clock. And then we come back to center. So now we're going to begin at 3 o'clock, and we're going to go from 3 to back, down to 4, come back to 3, go from 3 to 5, a little arc here, and then 5 back to 3. And then 3 to 6, and then 6 back to 3. Pause in the center. Traveling to 9 now. We're going to 9 o'clock, and then we roll down to 8. So we go to the left, we're down to 8, come back to 9, down to 7, come back to 9, down all the way to our 6. And then we're rolling back up to 9, and then we come back to neutral. And we slide the legs out, doing a nice frog leg release. And then we just allow ourselves to rest here, or perhaps a constructive rest posture for you. And notice the breath moving in and out of the body. And then gently, one leg at a time, we're going to frog leg our feet back up, just standing on the mat if they're not already there. And now let's circle the clock. We're going to start at 12, and we're going to go to 1. So that's to the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Pause here. You might notice a difference between the numbers in the top half of the clock, the numbers in the bottom half of the clock. You might also notice that some numbers don't show up on the clock. That's just information. We're going to go toward the left now. So we start at 12 and we're going to 11. So this is slow, done. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, noon, or 12 o'clock, and pause here. Did you notice that one side going one direction is easier than going in the other? Is that right or left for you? Or were they about the same? Let's try it again. We're going to go, this time we're going to go to the left first. And this time we're in observation about which is easier for us to find the numbers on the clock. Starting at 12, we go to 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 12. If I went a little fast for you, we could slow it down. We're going to go to the right this time and follow your own count. Make it slow and notice if there's any place in the clock face that there might be a tendency to hurry past. Keep the breath moving. And when you've found your way to noon or to 12, I don't know why I keep saying noon. When you find your way to 12, gently slide out your legs through frog legs. and just rest. Noticing how the body is settled now, going back perhaps to the idea of what 3 points have your attention. Is it the same as at the beginning of the class? Or is there more harmony in the body and nothing is particularly noticeable? Or maybe there's one point that wants you to breathe into it. And slowly coming back through frog legs, we're bringing our feet to standing on the mat. We're going to press the low back into the mat, drawing legs in toward the heart, one at a time, circling in one direction, and then the other. And then letting the feet drop. We're going to come back to our pelvic tilts now, which are going to 6, the rolling down. That's the lifting of the waist. And then the 12, the feet push away, the chin tucks away. We're coming into our 12. We roll down toward the 6. Feel the pull of the feet and the chin coming toward the heart. And then we come to neutral. Let's travel to 3 o'clock. And this time, allow the body to travel as far as it wants to go. So maybe the knees come over to the side. We're keeping the feet a little bit apart. Breathing. We come back to center and allow ourselves to travel to the 9 o'clock, any amount. And now we come back to center. Let's go around, going to the right first. We start at 12. We feel the arc. 1, 2, 3. You'll be on your own count now. Make it slow and as thorough as you can, traveling all the way around the clock. And when you get to the 12, we'll take it in the opposite direction. 12 to 11, 10, 9. Slowly, thoroughly exploring the clock face. And when you come back, when you're at the 12, pause here. Notice your palms. Did your hands move any closer to the floor to be palms down? Was there any movement there? Notice the jaw. Feel your breath moving in and out of the body. Sliding the legs out long if that feels comfortable for you today. Bring those legs long through frog legs. And just notice how the body rests on the floor now. And we'll enter our time of Shavasana, our final resting posture for class today. So whether the legs are long or the feet are standing on the mat, if you're coming to constructive rest, frog leg them up. And allow yourself to simply settle with awareness of your breath. Today's thought is from Thich Nhat Hanh. Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy.